Welcome back to the county seat. Our topic today is inmate health insurance. Who should pay for that when an inmate is incarcerated? That is the topic of our discussion, the topic of the entire half hour. Joining us today, Brent Gardner, Executive Director from the Utah Association of Counties, John Petroff, Davis County Commissioner, Jim Winter, Salt Lake County Sheriff, and David Edmunds, the Summit County Sheriff. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Okay, let's make one clarification, because we talked about your health care bill, Jim, in Salt Lake County, $1.3 million, and there needs to be a clarification. That's not your entire health care bill.
No, the annual health care costs for the Salt Lake County Jail are $6 million and rising.
So that's just for your pharmacy.
The 1.3 would be our pharmacy bill.
That's a staggering amount of money.
It is. It is.
Just a staggering amount. Okay, let's talk about the story. There are a couple of questions. You had an issue with the businesses and small business costs and the insurance. So any kind of comment you guys want to make on that?
Sure, I will. To begin with, we're obviously trying to persuade the legislature that insurance companies who are collecting premiums for those people that are incarcerated in county facilities, which are very short term, should be paying the cost because they're collecting the funding to pay for those costs. Just because they're in jail for 2 weeks before they're even convicted shouldn't disqualify them from that coverage. Otherwise, we think the insurance companies, or at least the cost for those prisoners, are being duplicated, once by the insurance company payment and once by the county payment. So we think it makes a lot of sense for the taxpayer and for everyone that those costs be covered by those who are collecting the premium.
So if I were booked in for, I don't know, anything, DUI or mistaken identity, anything, the minute I hit if I hit your jail, the minute I go in, my health insurance is canceled?
That's correct.
As soon as you book?
As soon as you go in, you are now on the taxpayer's dime.
So when Otis locked himself in Andy's jail, the minute he turned the key, Andy had to take care of him?
That's right.
I mean, I'm trying to simplify it, but...
That's exactly right, and I think that's the critical point to make here, is that so many of the folks who do come to county jails are not there very long. Certainly there's absolutely no reason why insurance companies shouldn't be picking up the bill for the pretrial detainees or those folks who haven't even gone to court yet. They're awaiting trial. And to me, that's the one piece of information here that I think we've got to make very clear, is that how in the world are we canceling insurance premiums or insurance for folks who haven't even been convicted of anything yet? That's a big deal to me.
Yeah, that would almost seem to fly in the face of innocent until proven guilty in some form or other, would it not? How big of an impact is this for either one of you? I mean, how much does it add to your overall cost of operation?
Well, the numbers are a little hard to obtain in terms of who would have insurance coverage as they come into jail. We largely deal with an indigent population, but still significant numbers would have insurance. And I think one of the issues is many times they arrive with pre-existing conditions that are extremely expensive and require a great deal of specialized subacute care. That really is the frustration for us. I routinely deal with family members who call us, and when an individual comes into jail, the jail treatment, medical treatment, is going to be humane, but it is not going to be what they would receive necessarily under their own medical coverage. So here is a wife whose husband has been booked into jail, maybe with a complicated fracture or an ongoing blood disease or any number of complications, and we tell her very straight-faced that we are going to do what we need to keep him alive and treat him humanely, but we're not going to go into a palliative or an extensive treatment regime. Well, they of course freak out, as you can imagine, because they feel now that the individual is being punished as a result of the incarceration unduly. It's a very difficult concept to explain to people, especially considering that same wife is paying those insurance premiums while the husband sits in our jail.
Mm-hmm. Would that situation be different if the insurance companies were paying then?
It certainly would. What the bill is proposed to do is to void a provision within the contracts which is universal in personal health care that indicates the minute that you're incarcerated. It's not a decision the government's made, it's a decision businesses made. That the minute you walk through the door, they've decided to waive it. But again, they don't waive the premium costs. So they've decided to waive it, which in turn places the individual on the dole. And the numbers are hard to gather, especially given the fact that insurance companies have refused, frankly, to provide us some actuarial estimates of the cost impacts. So how can we even have a conversation when the very numbers we need to make an argument are not provided to us?
Good point, and I think we've got a very lively discussion started. We'll continue that in just a minute right here on the county seat. We'll be back with the topic of incarceration and health insurance for people who are in county jails. We'll be back in a minute.
In order for there to be adventure, there must first be a land that offers it. In order for there to be discovery, there must first be something undiscovered. It's time you discovered northeastern Utah's dinosaur lands, the trails, water, beauty, and history that have been 65 million years in the making. Take your journey to a destination where adventure is only limited by your imagination. Join us in Uinta County, Undiscovered Utah.
What are the words that describe the perfect destination? Finding them all in one place is easy if you know where to look. Millard County in the heart of Utah offers ATV adventures, rock crawling events, art festivals, and nature at its most epic. Millard County, Utah. Find out what you've been searching for.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
If you look up epic in the dictionary, it's defined as heroic, majestic, or impressively great. Here in Kane County, Utah, we don't need a dictionary to tell us that. We live it every day. Stop reading about life and start experiencing it in Kane County. ATV adventures, Jeep excursions, hike a world where the Old West was yesterday and tomorrow is just over the horizon. Kane County, Utah, where epic is more than just a word, it's our way of life.